Well, this whole diesel's been having a hard time start ever since I bought it, so I guess it's about time we took a peek and see what we could figure out on it. Being a diesel, we got 2 batteries, and they're old and they're junk. I know it needs batteries, but I've had it on chargers and jump starts and just inconsistent with it starting. So, we'll do a little bit of checking here. First, we'll use our little voltmeter. Hopefully I can hold this and all that at the same time. Let's cheat. We'll do this. Okay. So right now we're showing 12.9 volts. It does have a battery charger on it currently. So that shows good. Just can't find a way to hold this stupid thing. Okay, so first we'll just check the battery voltage. 14.19, which again we have a battery charger on it. I'm going right from the posts of the battery. So what we can do just to verify the connection, these are, looks like they're homemade cables. They look decent, but they're older, so what we can do to check them is what's called a voltage drop test. So basically, for instance, on this positive side, we'll put the positive lead on the positive post. Our meter is in DC volts. And then there's the stud here, and 0 is what we should show. And we're basically measuring the difference in voltage between this cable through the connection here on the post, the terminal, to the actual battery, 0. So that shows a good connection there. We can do that also on the negative side. So we'll put our negative lead on the negative terminal of the battery, the positive lead on the stud here, and again that's 0. So that shows good. So these connections here should be good to go. So now we'll move on over to the other battery and see what we find there. Okay, so we're over here now on the driver's side battery. We'll go right on the posts of the battery again. Here we're showing 12.23 volts, which on a normal battery wouldn't be bad. However, on the other battery it's 14.2 and they're connected together, so it seems like we have an issue in the connection here to this battery. So just for funsies, we'll go to these studs on the terminals, and look, we have our 14.2 volts. So the cable coming from that battery to here is good. So now let's do our voltage drop. So we'll start in the negative one because I'm right next to it. This negative lead on the negative post of the battery to the stud on the terminal, 0 volts. We'll move over to our positive, go on our center post, we'll go to this stud, 1.97. We've got a 2 volt drop in the connection between this cable and this center post. So and you can kind of see there's corrosion in there and whatnot. So basically what I'm going to start with, well, I'll just take this terminal off of the battery post because here seems good. Actually, we can voltage drop that while we're at it. Get you back here in my makeshift stand. Yeah, you can see that. So just for fun, sake of experimentation here, we'll go between this stud and the crimp on the wire. That's 0 volts. So this nut, the connection here, all of that seems good. So it really has to be between the terminal and the post of the battery. This is close. Got my trusty old farmer wrench here. And we're on a farm, so it's with the hay. Yeah, it's definitely on there tight. Okay, so yeah, that's corroded in there. The post there is corroded as well. And just be careful, because this side, we still have battery voltage on it, because it's connected to the other battery. Use our good old battery terminal cleaner. Alright, that one's clean. Okay, that's clean, nice and lead. That one's clean as well. Now, I'm not fully expecting this to fix this truck, because like I said, I know the batteries are garbage on it. One looks like it's a year old, maybe. But the other one is doesn't even have a sticker still on it when it was made. And I don't know. I was always trained on these, you replace them in pairs. Otherwise, if you have a weak one, it's just going to suck down the good one. So, more than likely, I'll be buying 2 new batteries, but we'll see. See if I can at least get it started. I need to move it out of the middle of the driveway. Okay, there's that. I'll tighten this one back up. I might have to get an actual wrench for that. Hang on. Alright, I've got an actual wrench here. Let's see if we can snug it up. Okay. Now, let's do our little voltage drop test here. See if we actually fixed anything. Can't be any worse, right? Ha. 0 volts. Which is good, because we're measuring for high resistance, you know, corrosion, breaks in wires, that kind of thing with this voltage drop. So now if we go terminal to terminal, 13.23, 13.23. So, all right, that part at least seems fixed. Let's see if I can at least get it started now. Sorry about that. Hooking up some jumper cables. Try to get this pig to start. That sounded better. This needs a little spritz. Have to let the battery charger sit on it a bit. We'll report back in, see if it starts. After reviewing the video, I noticed that you couldn't actually see what I was doing for most of the time. So I tried to rearrange some things so you could see a little better. So when we're checking for voltage drop, what we're doing is we're checking for a high resistance, anything in the circuit that'll prevent the circuit from carrying a load. Like we saw, we found there was corrosion on the post, between the post and the terminal, which was creating a low voltage situation when we were trying to start. So how you would do that, take your positive lead of your meter, have your meter set to volts, put this on the most positive point in the circuit. On this, it's the battery. And then we'll go on the post. And it should be 0, because there should be no loss of voltage between there, which we did with the corrosion. But then you can check this, say between your battery and the starter terminal, starter solenoid, should be 0. Basically, we're checking this circuit while it's live. There's power on it, and we're just seeing if the circuit can actually carry this load. So I just wanted to clarify that, make sure you could actually see. And you can do this on any electrical circuit, between here and the alternator, between here and the starter, for blower motors, you know, headlights, whatever. It's a good practice. It comes in handy sometimes for when you're actually trying to test something rather than just guess and hope that it works. Anyway, hope that helps. Talk to you later.